We have brand new kitchen cabinets and we've got 8 easy tips to install the cabinet knobs and the drawer pulls. Hello everybody and welcome to the weekend honey-do list. So we have brand new cabinets and we're going to be installing our hardware. So let's go over some tips. Tip number 1, you want to go to your local hardware store and pick up a template. This template is inexpensive, they're easy to use, and it helps avoid marking mistakes. So our hardware alignment template comes with a drill bit, drawer template, and a door corner template. Tip number 2, you want to get mounting putty. Now, mounting putty is easy to attach to the cabinet knobs or drawer pulls, so that way when you put them on the cabinets, you can step back, take a look, see if you like the placement, or move them up or move them around until you find something that you're happy with. As you can see, the mounting putty is easy to put on the knobs, and you're just going to push them right in. We had 2 little spots that we marked in. We kind of thought that would be a good place for those cabinet knobs. But if you want to try a different spot, you just pull them off, push them right back in, step back, take a look. Well, we like it down there. Tip number 3, you want to use tape. So on our template, on our door corner template, you see there's a lot of little holes. Once you find the spot that you like, you put a piece of tape over it and then just make the hole on that piece of tape so that way you don't get confused and mark up the wrong hole and all of a sudden you have your doorknobs aren't even. Tip number 4, you want to use a center punch. Your drill bit may wander while you start drilling, causing damage to your cabinets or moving your hole off center. So you want to use a center punch to make that little guide for your drill. Now, this may seem easier than it looks, but I was really struggling to try to keep it right there and hit it. Now, as you can see really closely, I'm a little bit off center, so take your time. Tip number 5, painter's tape. You want to use painter's tape to try to minimize the splintering in the back of your cabinet while you're drilling through the cabinet door. Sometimes if the drill bit's not sharp enough, or depending on the cabinet door itself, it might rip in the back. So nice and straight and level while you're drilling. As you go all the way through, we'll take a look in the back here. As you can see here, once we pull off the tape, there's minimal damage. So the screws that came with the cabinet knobs are meant to be cut. They're way too long, so that way it would fit whatever cabinet. But this brings us up to our next tip. Tip number 6. Go to your local hardware store and find out the length that you actually need for your cabinet and buy the right size. Because we had problems when to cut the screw and then they weren't threading right in the knob. So avoid all that mess and just get the right size. So once you have that, you can see it'll easily screw on by hand. You want to tighten it up and then get your flathead screwdriver to tighten it a little bit more. Don't over tighten it. Brings us to tip number 7. Now the bottom cabinets that I was working on, I almost did this. I almost drilled into the cabinet frame. So double check to make sure you're not drilling into the frame and damaging your cabinet. Okay, let's move on to our drawers. So we're going to use that drawer template we're going to measure the length of the drawer, find the center. Then we're going to use the template. It's got a little notch in the middle. We're going to align it with that mark that we just did. So now we're going to try to determine where we're going to mark it down here. Now, as you can see, our pencil is not going all the way through because of that little decoration. Brings us to tip number 8. You want to use a mechanical pencil. That way you could extend the lead far enough to make your mark on the cabinet drawer. Pretty easy. Now we're going to follow with the same tips we had before. A little piece of tape to mark the template hole that we want to use. And then we put some toothpicks just to make sure that it fits right. And then it does match the hardware. So now I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Use a center punch. Put some tape in the back to make sure it doesn't splinter or minimizes the splintering. Nice and level to start drilling on each hole. Remove the tape. Now I'm using the power screwdriver just to get the screw in as close as possible, but when you want to tighten it up, you want to hand tighten it to avoid damaging the drawer. Hopefully these 8 tips will make the process for installing your cabinet hardware fast and easy. Thanks for watching the Weekend Honeydew List. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. And if you like what we do, subscribe to our channel. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.